As we mentioned, New Jersey Governor Chris Christie set to take the stage here at the Q tonight. He was the first of Donald Trump's former Republican rivals to endorse him, was in contention to be his running mate as well. Governor, good to see you as always. Nice to have you here.
Happy to be here.
You heard the speech from Melania Trump last night. You've now heard portions and remember portions of Michelle Obama's speech from 2008. You're a former prosecutor. Could you make a case for plagiarism?
No, not when 93% of the speech is completely different than Michelle Obama's speech. And they express some common thoughts. And so, listen.
Almost word for word.
But the worst, listen, Matt, the worst day of a convention is the first day because everyone's building up to it and everybody gets breathless, both the delegates and the media, about something to cover and a controversy to talk about. I think after tonight we won't be talking about this. We'll move on to whatever comes up tonight.
It might be a small thing, might be small potatoes. Does it signal anything to you about just the staff work of the campaign, the fact that something like this might slip through the cracks?
You know, I don't know. I think they're trying to do a lot of things at one time. And I know Melania, I think she worked very hard on that speech, and a lot of what I heard last night sitting on the floor sounded very much like her and the way she speaks about Donald all the time. And having been friends with them for 14 years, that sounded like her to me last night. And I think what's most important is the American people gets a picture of how she feels about her husband and what their relationship is like. And I think they got a good view of that last night.
You were the keynote speaker at the Republican convention 4 years ago. Tonight, I know you had hoped to be here in a different role, perhaps as the running mate for Donald Trump. So much has been written, Governor, since you were not chosen. Some of the articles say you were angry. One went as far as to say you were livid at not being chosen. What's the truth?
The truth is that I never expected to be chosen. The fact is that over the course of my 14-year relationship with Donald, he knows I'm going to be there for him. And he's been there for me over the course of our relationship. And so, you know, listen, Matt, I don't want to sugarcoat it though. Of course you're disappointed. If you compete for something like I did, you'd like to be picked. I wasn't. So you take a deep breath and you go to bed and wake up the next morning and get on with your day.
I just want to go one step further. A lot of the articles written say it was less about whether you would have made a great pairing, and it was more personal, that there was a conflict with you and Jared Kushner inside the Trump family. Is that true?
I've never had any conflict with Jared inside the campaign. In fact, our relationship has been really good professionally and warm personally, as it is with all of Donald's children and me over the years. And so now listen, I understand that's kind of a Shakespearean thing to write about, and I get why people want to write about it, but it simply has not been my experience since I endorsed Donald at the end of February.
Before we leave it, and we do want to talk about your speech tonight, what you have planned, there has been a lot of conflicting reports about the timing, that Mike Pence got the call on Wednesday night, but that on Thursday morning, as I understand it, you were still under the impression that you were in the running and taking calls from Trump himself. Was there that confusion? Did he mislead you and make you feel you were still in the running?
I was never confused about anything, and when Donald made his choice official on Friday morning, he had spoken to me, and I completely understood the choice that he made, and I support Mike. You know, we've been governors together. I campaigned hard for him in 2012, and I'm just really happy that Donald picked a governor, because I think him having a governing partner is really important. And so if it wasn't going to be me, I'm glad it was another governor. I'm glad it was Mike.
Did Trump tell you on Thursday you were still in the running? That's what he told the press.
Listen, I was not under any confusion about exactly what happened between me and Donald. We understood each other perfectly, as we usually do.
When you take to the podium tonight, are you going to be speaking as the former candidate? Are you going to be speaking as the governor of New Jersey? Are you going to be speaking as a former prosecutor? Which one's going to come out?
Yes.
Which one's going to take most of the time?
Listen, I think what you'll see tonight is somebody who has experience in the courtroom and who knows how to make a case.
What's the case
and we'll make
you want
a case
to make?
Tonight. Well, I'll wait till tonight to make the case. But I'm going to make a case tonight that Donald Trump is ready to be president of the United States, and that perhaps his opponent is not.
So where will the line be? Is this going to be mostly a pro-Trump speech, or is this going to be largely an anti-Hillary speech?
I think you have to wait and see for tonight, Matt. Still doing a little editing, so we'll see where it goes.
I know you were up late working on this speech. What about you? What do you see as your future? Do you think you'll run for public office again?
You know, I really don't know. I know I won't run for governor again. I'm term limited for governor of New Jersey. I think at one time I said that I would rather commit suicide than be in the United States Senate. So I think that probably precludes me from doing that.
You can see the bumper stickers now.
Yeah, probably wouldn't be good. So no, I don't think that at this point, I don't have any plans to run for public office again. But you never know where life is going to bring you. And certainly I never thought life would bring me to this spot. So you don't know where it's going to go.
It didn't work out in terms of becoming the running mate. There are other opportunities if Donald Trump is elected elected president. There could be an attorney general slot. There could be a chief of staff spot. Others, would you want an active role in a Trump administration?
It would depend on what was offered to me, Matt. You know, if Donald won and he offered me something that I felt I could really contribute to our country, then I would consider taking it. But remember, I have 2 young children at home. And uprooting them to Washington, D.C. It would have to be something that I felt I really could make a contribution, a meaningful contribution to the country. I'm not just looking for a job. I think I'll be able to handle that once I leave the governorship one way or the other.
Governor Chris Christie speaking tonight before this convention. Always good to see you, Governor.
Thanks,
Thank you so much.
Thank
Good
you.
to see you.
Thanks.
All right.
Hello, Today fans. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking that button down there and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives.